The Ijebus are not Oduduwa'S descendants. Ancestors came directly from Sudan, Awujale. The Awujale of Ijebu land, Oba Sikiru Kaide Adetona, has said that the Ijebus are not descendants of Oduduwa. In an interview with Sunday Concord, the Awujale said their ancestors is Olu Iwa. To substantiate his claim, Oba at Daytona gave full details of how the first Oba in Ijebu land came to Ijebu Ode without any connections with Oduduwa. According to Awujale, Oluiwa came all the way from Wada, a small town around Sudan, accompanied by many followers, including his daughter named Gorowo, Ajebu, Olode, Osimore, and Afin. In the course of his journey, Oluiwa passed through Ile-Ife and was well received by Oduduwa to mark the warm reception awarded him. Oluiwa gave his daughter away to Oduduwa as a wife while he proceeded on his journey. So technically, if they reproduced, then they are descendants. What do you mean? Guided by regular consultation with Ifa Oracle, Oluiwa found his way to Ijebode, where he ascended the throne as the first Oba in Ijebu land. Speaking further, Oba Adetona narrated the way Oluiwa's only daughter, who was given to as wife to Oduduwa, had only one child, whose name is Ogorogondo, who grew up amongst his half-brothers. During the time of war in Ile-Ife, all other children of Oduduwa fled, but in different directions of Yoruba land, but Ogorogondo decided to look for his mother's father, the Oluiwa, who was then the Oba of Ijebu land, accompanied by his mother, Gorowo, and his servant, Oloja Bara, as well as regular consultation with the Ifa Oracle to guide them. Ogorogondo passed through many places, including Imesi Olojakwe, from where he brought Odis at last quarters. The head chief was there at the Olisa. Unfortunately, Oluiwa's daughter, who was also Jua's wife, died in Oshun on her way to Ijebode, but her son and his entourage arrived at Ijebode. However, he was denied entrance because people regarded him as an invader. As a result of his denial, a bitter war ensued, of which he emerged victorious. During the battle, his troop emerged from the underground, this Oba Adetona said, and Ogorogondo, the popular acclamation of Awujale, an Ijebu phrase for one who is expert in group battle. Okay, so the point is that Ijebus were not Oduduwa's children. Well, there are some that are, so you're some are and some aren't, because obviously the Iwa gave his daughter away, and of course she reproduced with Oduduwa to have children, so they are descendants technically. But then we have some who are purely not descendants of Oduduwa, which is fine. I mean, I don't know what the point of it is. If it's that you're going to change the name from Oduduwa to something else, yes. But for the fact that one thing binds everyone is the Yoruba speaking nature, and how the cultures are very too similar, okay? It's not like as if they're too different. They're so different that they can't even be one or be blended. If it's that you don't want to call it Oduduwa, that is their prerogative and what they want to do. But I don't know what the point of this is. What's the reason? So what should we now do? I don't understand. Someone says, if Ogorogondo was the child of Oduduwa and he was the one that came back to rule in Ijebode, then where is the confusion? It was only the mother that was the daughter of Oluiwa. According to the story, you are all from that lineage except the people he met on ground. If the Awujale is from a lineage of Ogorogodo, then he's also Oduduwa. Well, technically he's not. If he's from that line, then they're purely from wherever, from a part of Sudan, if that's where it is. But you cannot tell me that they did not reproduce, that Ogorogondo did not, is the name. You can't tell me that he didn't reproduce with any native of Ijebode. That doesn't make sense. You're telling me that that line specifically only reproduced with themselves. till now. Doesn't make sense. Obviously, there has to be a mix up and mash up somewhere. So I think that I don't know what the essence of it is. I think it's counterproductive, especially to the Yoruba agitation for succession. Doesn't make sense. I don't know why we're talking about this now. If it was basic common knowledge, like let's say, oh, it was taught in school, part of history from kids and from young, then maybe it would be something that we would all find as basic information. But right now, it's a lot to digest. It's a lot to digest, and I think that why we're not taught history like this does not make sense. It's a whole conversation about the education system in Nigeria, which we're not going to get into. But the fact is, why are you bringing this up now? What is the point? If it's that, because again, I understand in the country that we're in, we can't be surprised that there will be divisive tactics that will be used to produce the or counteract the actual aim of the Oduduwa people or Yoruba people in general, that they want to, separate from the country. Because then this does make it seem like as if, okay, fine, they might not necessarily bear the name Oduduwa, but I guess if the name is what they need to fill, then that's fine. But I think Oduduwa in itself, I mean, the history, I think it's pretty much accurate that you can say at least an average Yoruba person would at least be 5% Oduduwa, and you are. Not that it proves anything or makes you less Oduduwa or more Oduduwa than another, but I don't know. But I think it's counterproductive. Someone says, you are wrong, sir. Historically, the first Awujale of Ijebus land was crowned by the then Alaafin in 1674. Google it, you're lying, sir. Okay. You can say only Ijebode were alien in Yoruba land. But Ijebu, Ife, Ijebu, Remo, they are from Oduduwa ancestors. Okay. Well, that's your issue. Let me even go back. It says, well, that's your issue. You can come from Sudan or from Fulani nation. All we know is that we are descendants of Oduduwa. If Fulani have given you money to disown your roots, no problem. You can go to Sudan. It's okay. Someone is already taking offense, and you have to be. It's a sensitive thing, okay? Like at this point, Fulanis do not necessarily have the upper hand in terms of their view and their image. So it's like, it's you're gonna cause riots with that. We're all very diverse. I think it's for you to think you're just Yoruba alone or you're Igbo alone. Like we're all very diverse, and we don't know how things were. Obviously, we have to go learn our history, but what if you find out as a Nigerian that you have some Cameroonian tribes in your blood? Like, what will you do then? You know what I mean? I think that as much as we're all one at the end of the day, and I think no matter what, as people, we need to be united. On a micro level and on a macro level, especially as Africans, because we need to gatekeep our resources and make sure that we are keeping it for ourselves and our generations to come, and that's all that matters. If we split into 500 different states in Africa, the main thing is that we are okay with one another. We're confident in our spaces, and having our own full expressions of our own cultures and the way we live. That's absolutely fine, but the fact remains we must not be divided, and we can't afford to, some change we'll just never see in a lifetime, but at least would contribute so that it can be seen from time to come. Put what you think in the comment section below, and do not forget to like and subscribe.